Hello, it's Jimmy. Today, I want to talk a little bit about how setting good savings habits early on helped me get to where I am at today. I realize this summer I haven't put any content out, but it's been an unusually warm summer where I'm at, and I came out a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, tried to start a video and open the garage door, and I saw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego hanging out in the back corner, and I figured it was just too hot to exist. So, oh well. Both good and bad habits follow you your whole life, so I think it's a good idea to set good habits early on and try to get rid of bad ones as quickly as possible. It took me a little bit of time to figure out what was bad as far as financial habits. If I hadn't taken on any debt, that probably would have been a huge thing. But be that as it were, I did do some good things. I started a savings account when I was very small. Well, actually, my mother helped me set that up at the bank. For some reason, they don't let children just come in and open up accounts at the bank. Can't imagine where that might turn wrong, but anyway, we started a little savings account for me, and I would put money in there that I would get from my grandparents, usually for birthdays and whatnot. A little bit of chores around the house. Sometimes I'd go and put a couple bucks in there, and that was fun. I got to learn how money grew and how the banks worked. I'd have to fill out the deposit slip to put my few bucks in there at a time. And then I don't think it was every month, maybe every quarter, I'd get a statement from the bank with my balance, and it would show the deposits that I had made. Really wasn't taking any money out then, so I didn't have to see any debits to that account, but I think that was a very good thing for me early on. One other thing that I liked to do was save money, save coins, and I had a collection of piggy banks and whatnot. Here, this is one that I had. I think I kept pennies in this one, and it sounds like it's empty now, but rest assured those pennies have gone to good work. I had some other novelty banks as well. I kept on a shelf in my room, and it was kind of fun to fill each one with a different type of coin. That one, for pennies, I had a nickel and a quarter one, and a bicentennial quarter one too. I like to break things down that way. I still keep a little jar for coins. I seemingly almost every day find some on the ground when I go for my walk, and when I stop at the little gas station by our house. It seems like the young people like to throw their change on the ground. They don't really want to keep that. I have no idea why. I mean, it's not just pennies, it's quarters and dimes and nickels. And one day I found a $5 bill, and I mean, certainly don't need it, but dang it, I'm going to take it. Not from the kids. It's not like I'm going. Let me make that very clear. I'm not taking the money from the children. It's well after they're gone. I'm assuming it's kids. I don't even know. Just forget what I said. It sounds like I'm stealing money from children. I am not doing that. Well, later on in life, I got a checking account at a bank, a different bank, and that was fun. Got to watch that grow, and it was fun to be able to put money in that. When I got my first job, I actually got paper checks. I know that's a rarity today, but I get paper checks from my employer, and I needed a place to deposit those. So I, back then, usually save up a couple of checks, 2 or 3. Obviously wasn't living paycheck to paycheck, so I could go to the bank all at once with those and deposit them at one time. And then I did have a checkbook. So that was cool, because now I could start writing checks for things that I needed or wanted. And I had to make sure I had the right balance in there for these things, and learning how to balance a checkbook. I don't think that is really something that is taught or well known today. I was at a store somewhere, and a younger-ish woman was trying to fill out a check, and she had no idea how to do it. And the cashier, another young gal, really wasn't much help. Neither one of them knew what to do as far as where to write the things in the check. It's maybe a bit of a lost art. I had to write one yesterday at my dental office for the work that they performed. And, I'm kind of a victim of it too, or I don't write that much. So I felt my handwriting wasn't as neat as it could be. However, the gals were kind of impressed that I could actually write something legible on the check. One of the bad habits that I had growing up was perhaps relying on debt to get the things that I needed or wanted without the discipline of saving. And that took a little while for me to learn and correct course on that, getting rid of debt and not accumulating anymore. Now I have no debt whatsoever, and I don't even have a credit card. Seems like most places are happy to take cash or my debit card. One of the things that always bothered me when I first got a loan, I think it was probably a student loan, and I would see the balance on there and the amount of interest that had accrued, and it was sort of sad because I saw that interest going away, and it pretty much negated any little bit of interest that I had watched grow in my savings account and in my checking account. I had an interest-bearing checking account, which was a couple pennies a month, but nonetheless, just that idea that I was giving away this money freely to an institution. Well, that habit of saving money early on was a good thing because in my early 20s, when I decided to open up a Roth IRA and fund that, I already had that habit built of saving money and watching it grow and understanding the balance and the interest that goes into that and compound interest. So when I made calculations on how much money I might need at a nominal retirement age of 65, I made my forecast based on that, how much money I would need to put away every month. Well, I overshot that target a little bit, hence I'm able to retire at age 44 instead of 65. I think the lesson there was the power of compound interest. All the other savings accounts, retirement accounts I have, it's fun to watch that grow, that snowball effect, where I'm not really funding them to the point where they're just earning interest on interest and their balances are much higher than the amount that I've ever contributed to them. I don't know if people understand how the power of compound interest affects their accounts. It probably needs to be a little bit more widely known. Probably change a lot of people's lives, and maybe they would be a little bit more sensible with the money that they have and where they put it, where they spend it. When I was young, and even in my 20s, I had no idea where the habit of savings would take me. I certainly didn't expect it to allow me to retire at age 44, but it's worked out quite nicely for me. Be interesting to see what my life would be like had I not had the bad habit of relying on debt for things, but can't really complain where I'm at now. I'll take what I have. Well, that's all I have to say today on building good savings habits early. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a great day.